Have you ever thought, where does the meat I buy from the store come from? The demand for meat products has been steadily increasing over the last century, and this has resulted in the development of concentrated animal feeding operations, also known as factory farming. Some argue that this farming system is necessary because it produces a high volume of product for low prices, and it's able to meet the high demand for animal products globally. While these things may be true, we shouldn't be looking at it from this perspective because there are several ways that it is morally wrong. Today we will be discussing why factory farming should be entirely illegal because it contributes to inhumane treatment of animals, negative environmental impacts, and negative impacts on human health. To begin, we're going to discuss the inhumane treatment of animals in factory farms. So, according to 4Paws USA, young animals are separated from their mothers at birth and then they're reared artificially and kept individually. This is very detrimental to their health because they should be kept in social environments. Another cruel practice of animal farming is the lack of anesthesia or any pain relief when performing cruel and painful mutilations, such as dehorning, castrations, tail docking, and beak trimming. Another cruel practice is they're kept in environments that are incredibly different from their natural habitats. An example of this would be that pigs are kept in fully slated floors rather than having a soft lying area, which can cause high levels of ammonia in these factory farms. The last inhumane practice that we'll be discussing today is the cruel transportation methods when they're transporting these animals. They are in very crowded carts, and they can't stand in their natural position or they can't lie down without lying in their feces and risking getting trampled. Yeah, it's very sad. And then another common practice is that there's a lack of water supply on the trucks, and in the warmer seasons, this can cause the animals to become more dehydrated. So not only does factory farming contribute greatly to the inhumane treatment of animals, it also contributes greatly to several environmental issues. One of these big issues is deforestation. According to sentientmedia.org, in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, the land is being cleared so it can be used for feedlots and pastures. They're also using it to grow soybeans, which is then fed to the livestock so they can double them in weight before they slaughter them. It also affects the indigenous people of these lands because their home is being taken away, and then it also takes away from the plants and animals' habitats. Another impact is that it is a major driver for global warming. The greenhouse gas emissions that are released as a result of industrial production of meat result in nitrous oxide, methane, and carbon dioxide to be released into the atmosphere. The entire life cycle of meat production also contributes to the emission of greenhouse gases. This would include deforestation, manufacturing, transportation of petroleum-reliant synthetic fertilizers, the production of growth hormones, and the fuels that are burned for machines that produce animal feed and that transport livestock. Along with this, the human health is at risk as a result of factory farming. The poor living conditions in these factory farms result in a higher likelihood of the transmission of diseases between animals and humans. According to ASPCA.org, a study in 2023 linked 1 million human deaths to factory farm antibiotic abuse. As well as this, it increases exposure to air pollution for people who live near these areas. The pollutants that these people are exposed to can cause or worsen respiratory conditions such as asthma, COPD, and pneumonia. It can also cause nausea, allergic reactions, and acute increased blood pressure. As well as this, factory farming contributes to water contamination. The density of the animals has resulted in a high concentration of animal waste, and this can contaminate ground and surface waters with things such as nitrates, drug residues, and other hazards, which are then exposed to local communities. Exposure to an elevated amount of nitrates in drinking water is associated with several health effects such as various forms of cancer, birth defects, and other reproductive problems. Today we discussed why, despite the cheap cost of meat, the inhumane treatment of animals, negative environmental impacts, and negative effect on human health are all reasons why, when you go to the grocery store next, you should consider whether getting meat is worth the inhumane treatment of animals. Yeah, so, okay.